So first of all, thank you all for joining us this morning. We are, as always, grateful to all of you and wildly appreciative. And Josh's comment about not revealing spoilers aside, good luck, because sort of like any questions about this episode, I think are going to be laced with spoilers. So we'll all take that with a grain of sand.
Thank you. And our first question, it comes from the line, Josh Malani, Niagara Frontier. Please go ahead.
And I have to say, as a fan of the show, I have not actually seen the episode yet. I'd like to kind of see it with all the other fans. So I will have non-spoilerish questions.
Cool.
Obviously, it seems like two of the main characters, Peter and Olivia, are sort of unraveling at this point in time. Peter more so than Olivia. Are they going to sort of get worse before they get better, or what can you tell us about that?
They will get worse and better. I don't think that the value won't be good or bad. It's going to be more complicated than that. Since Olivia returned, and their relationship sort of, shattered, and they've been trying to pick up the pieces. They've been getting closer, and they will continue to, but the problems that they're dealing with are going to continue to complicate. So it won't be as simple as, hey, now we've put our, relationship troubles to bed and we can be a couple again, or, hey, now we've dealt with the problems of our universe and our relationship is taking a back seat. The two are going to be, we're throwing a whole bunch of things at them, including the consequences of the episode that you haven't yet seen that we're talking about now.
We're always trying to get deeper, more complex emotions, because we find that's, really rich area for us to investigate. And, there's so many facets to a real relationship, and these are incredible circumstances that they're gone through, but, we try and make it as deep as we can. So you'll see a whole bunch of shifting still to come in the entire rest of the season.
Right. Guys, it's such a creative show. It's sort of unfortunate that so much of the talk is about the ratings lately, but it sort of is what it is.
Yeah.
So I'm wondering, since the move to Friday, what sort of feedback have you guys gotten from the network?
Well, we went into it with the understanding that there's a number that would make them very happy. That's like 1.2 to 1.4. That was something that was, look. Everybody, there were a lot of naysayers in that, people get nervous when things move to Fridays. And Friday became a landscape that shows just don't do very well, as business for the networks. But, we felt that our show sort of, we were going there on a creative high, at least, from our perception. And you guys, the media, have been so cool, and it's largely, because of your reviews that our viewers are coming and staying and loving the show, and the network takes a lot of notice in your reviews. So we felt confident going into Friday nights, knowing that we're on a creative high, and we know what the show is. And a lot of shows that came before us that went to Fridays, they weren't for one reason or another. I mean, it's so difficult to make a show, so anything can go wrong at any time. But for one reason or the other, these shows weren't on their creative upswing. They were sort of, maybe diluted because the original vision didn't work, and and they were trying to find a show, or it just got to a point where people weren't interested in mythology anymore, so they tried to do some drastic things to change it. There was a lot of shows that died there. So we were hoping that our fans would follow and say, no, we're loving what they're doing, and we love the show, and we're gonna follow. So we're really happy. Obviously, who can't be happy with a 1.9 and a 1.9 and a 1.6 something? So, and our DVRs just came in, and they're really great. So we feel really good about it, and so does the network.
The truth is, there are very few. There are very few fortunate enough network television dramas that they don't watch the ratings. It's just a fact of life. There's only so much that we can control. We can control the creative vision of our show.
Right.
We can control the execution of our show. And Fox are legitimately fans of the show. They've told us that from the beginning. They've demonstrated it to us again and again and again. The move to Friday night was, they have American Idol. That's one of the shows that's not a drum. That's one of the shows that we'll never have to worry about ratings, at least for the foreseeable future. And they made the business decision that they wanted that show on Wednesday and Thursday this year. We had to move somewhere. Our fans had been asking Fox to move us for a year off of Thursday night. They moved us to Friday, and our fans freaked out, understandably. People are afraid of change. We all are. Human beings are afraid of change, but change can be good. It seems like our audience, who, as Joel said, are insanely loyal, and we're so grateful for them, moved with us. Both the live numbers and the DVR numbers have borne that out so far, knock on wood. And, all the stories that we're telling, we had written and filmed before we knew we were moving. So we're not doing anything in reaction to the move. We're just doing our jobs and telling the best stories we can in the way that, in the ways that we enjoy telling them. And, if you build it, hopefully they will come.
Yeah. So in general, the network's incredibly supportive of the numbers, and they're actually very pleased with the move.
Well, I appreciate you guys continuing to write really good stories. Thanks for your time.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. The next question comes from the line of Tara Bennett, SFX Magazine. Please go ahead.
Hi, guys.
Hi.
So as you were talking about before, of course, while you've had some really amazing stories, with the machine and such, it's really been about the emotional journey. And as you're heading now towards the last part of the season, who's maybe even in the writer's room surprised you in terms of, you have an intention of where you want to take Peter and Olivia and Walter and such. But as the writing happens, I'm sure even more stuff has come up, or characters taken a direction that, has been even surprising and fun for you guys to write. As this path moves forward, who is kind of, morphed into a storyline that's just really jazzed you guys up, and as we move forward, what we'll see from that?
I think one of the things that has been really fun for us is I think we knew how much there was to discover with Walternate and Bolivia, and how much those two characters would provide counterpoint and shed light on their alter egos that we've known for going on 3 seasons now. I think one of the things that's been really fun for us didn't surprise us so much, and it was sort of like what we were hoping for, but the dynamic between Lincoln and Charlie and Bolivia and the energy of the stories on the other side. It feels just like, it feels like a different version of our show that just has a different inherent rhythm and a different inherent chemistry in those characters, and that's been really joyful for us.
Yeah, we get to do 2 shows about 1 show. So, that turned into a great thing, In particular, a lot of great things came, but like alternate Broyles, investigating that and having our Broyles actually stand next to his own dead body, was sort of cool.
Lance is an amazing actor, and the truth is, he's fulfilled, providing such a necessary and awesome function for us that it was really fun to see a different version of him as well. It gave us an opportunity to explore that.
Yeah.
And just as a quick follow-up, I know there had been trepidation early on from the network about doing the back-and-forth storylines that obviously was really successful from their perspective as well as us as the audience. And I know that you're doing a couple episodes before the end of the season. Hopefully in the best world, which we all want as you guys come back again, have you figured out a pattern of how often you will jump back and forth, what works for you guys in terms of storytelling that you've discovered this season?
It's funny because that was a huge thing for us. Obviously, when we said we're going to go over there, there was some hesitancy because, the core viewers want to see what they know, and that's what the network and the studio obviously and rightly so are concerned that our core audiences would like to stay with our main characters. So it was a gamble, and nobody really, hindsight's 20/20, and now we're looking at it and we were like, the rare opportunity we get to say, oh yay, it did work, and that's great. So we did know this though, that we wanted to tell really compelling stories over there and get the mythology over there really firing. And we became slowly in love with over there when we were conceiving it. Excuse me. So, we knew though that we couldn't do it justice if we were going to go like a couple of scenes like in 1 episode over there, and you're back here and you're bouncing back and forth. We just felt that wouldn't do it justice. It wouldn't do the idea justice. So we really dove in full tilt with the different credit sequence and and saying, look, this is what you're going to get. But as far as a pattern goes, the storytelling in our show at the beginning of the year, we know what we want to do, and the stories sort of dictate where we are going. If there's a certain theme that we want to examine that we find is really important to get across in several different episodes, it'll be really interesting to tell a thematic element over here, and then see how our characters sort of deal with it, and then show a very different facet of that same theme over there, which is really a great position to be in. So it's sort of, we don't really decide, we're going to have two over here, and then one over here, and then two over here, and one over here. It's definitely dictated by our storytelling and our narrative.
Well, thank you, guys. It's been an amazing season. So.
Well, thank you.
Next question comes from the line of Matt Middlezick, TV line. Please go ahead.
Thanks for your time today, gentlemen.
Hi.
I was wondering if you could, these next 10 episodes, in addition to the construct of the machine and, who Peter will ultimately choose, both which Olivia and which universe, are there going to be any other wrinkles going on during these next 10 episodes?
Yeah, we're full of wrinkles. We're more like a pair of corduroy pants. We've got yes. The answer is yes. Largely, this season has been sort of like a march to war, and it will continue to be so, driven equally by the relationship of Peter and the two Olivias, but we've got more stuff coming. We're going to complicate it, and like we've done in the past 2 years, sort of as we drive to the end of the season, it will be as much as anything about setting up next season. Yeah, we sort of look at it like chapters. When you, like for us, like when we read a great novel and you finish a chapter, you're like, oh my gosh, like something happened at the end of the chapter that's going to propel me forward. That has been sort of how we desire to emulate, because when season one, like you get the whole concept of, oh my God, it's one. That was a big deal. And then you came back and said the show's going to change slightly next year because of all this new stuff. And then season two, the same thing sort of happened. Oh, she's over there and over here. And so this one, we can definitely guarantee you that it's going to be, in the last stretch of this, it's going to be very compelling, because you're going to turn the page on a new chapter, and you're going to understand our show in a different capacity, and it's going to stretch your mind, and it's going to make you think, oh, I never saw that coming. And that's what we feel we owe the fans, is to make sure that, for very good reasons, nothing crazy like that we don't deserve and haven't earned, but something that is definitely integrated into the storyline that you just hopefully didn't see coming. And we had a few cards to lay down that I don't think anybody really expects.
Okay, and in keeping with the no spoilers policy, I will phrase my follow-up like this.
Good luck.
Information revealed at the end of this week's episode, will it make its way to the other universe sooner rather than later? And is there going to be drama about how it gets to its intended recipient, or is it more about the reaction?
All of the above. So there will, based on the information revealed at the end of this episode, there will be consequences over there for Bolivia and certainly Walternet, and sort of escalating the storytelling on that side, which will absolutely. The two universes are in kind of disharmony. They're in a fractured balance. So anything that happens on one side, certainly for the duration of this season and moving forward, by design will affect the other side. So the short answer to your question is the information and the reality of what is happening over there will get to our side relatively soon, and will absolutely affect what's going on over here.
Yeah, but we will qualify with this, that on our show, we're really lucky because we get to tell things that maybe you understand as a viewer and you've seen before, like, it's not the first time you've heard about somebody having an affair outside of the relationship, and that's always very interesting drama. But it becomes a totally different thing when the person that your loved one has fooled around with is yourself, or another version of yourself. So in keeping with that, the expectations that one would have with that reveal at the end of last episode that we will not mention, it will not unfold in a way that I think is traditional. So so just I think that people should be prepared for that, and that could be really interesting.